What's up, YouTube? Let me tell y'all how the other day I almost had another clogged milk duct, and I was waiting for it at the door like...
I'm being real with you because I heard about you. I'm waiting on you at the door.
Because no, if you've ever had a clogged milk duct before, no, I refused to go through that again, because I've had one before and it was extremely painful. It was discomforting. It lasted way longer than the articles that I read said. They said it was like 1 to 3 days. Mine was going on 1 to 2 weeks, and I could barely lift my arm up like above this. It was so painful, and I vowed if I could avoid it, I wouldn't get one again. So I started to feel one coming on like about a week ago, and like I said, we weren't doing that again. So I've collected these tips on how to A, get rid of it if you do have it, and B, how to avoid getting them in the future, because they're basically hand in hand, like the same tips. Just the frequency is like the only thing that changes, whichever one you're dealing with. So if that's what you want to learn, stay tuned. But before we get into it, hey guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you're loyal, and if you're new here, I'm a first-time mom, and most of the videos that I make are related to mommy life. So if you want to be part of the mommy tribe, go ahead and subscribe. And if you want to see my face show up on your phone, hit the notification bell. Okay, so let's get into it. Tip number 1, implement a pumping schedule. And before you get hyped, because sis, I know you already thinking, I do not have time to be pumping. I already have too much stuff to do. I don't have time to be pumping. I feel you. I feel you. But you don't need to dedicate a whole day to pumping. Now, if you do currently have a clogged milk duct, I would tell you to pump a lot more than usual. However, if you're just looking for ways to avoid getting it in the first place, proactively, I would say to pick like one time out of the day that you implement pumping into your routine. So for instance, for me, first thing in the morning when my daughter and I wake up, even after I feed her, I still have an abundance of milk supply. And I know if I know I'm not going to feed her again for another 2 to 3 hours or so, I definitely don't want to just keep all that extra milk built up. So I'll pump at that time, and that'll pretty much be like the only time a day that I will pump if I feel necessary. But that is when I have the most milk, and even after she feeds, it's like still more milk left inside. So the reason why we get clogged milk ducts is because we have a overabundance of milk that's sitting in our breast that we're not releasing out. So you want to get it out somehow, some way. If you make sure that you're implementing this some sort of time to pump throughout the day, if baby's not draining them all of the time, or if you feed with both breasts and maybe baby just ate from one and a half of the other or whatever, that buildup is what's going to cause clogged milk ducts. So we don't want that. So for me, first thing in the morning works. Also, a benefit of pumping is that I always have like an extra bottle in the fridge for whatever reason. And also you'll see that I keep stuttering. You'll see that your milk supply will start to build up, whether you have that in the fridge or the freezer or whatever. You will have like emergency milk in case you need it, or if you're going back to work anytime soon, this will also be beneficial for you. Another thing is, we just need a break sometimes. So if you need to give somebody, your significant other, your parents, whomever has the baby, and you just like chill for a second, you know what I'm saying? First time mom, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Then utilize that and take advantage of it. So I know pumping kind of feels like, oh my God, this is taking forever. I'm not doing anything. This is taking up my time. I don't got time for this. But if you just implement it like once throughout the day in your schedule, I swear it will help in so many ways. So pick a time that works for you. If you can put it into your schedule, maybe not first thing in the morning, maybe at night when baby goes to sleep, if you don't want to go to sleep with full breast, or just whenever you feel kind of like an abundance and a buildup that baby can't drain right then and there, implement that into your schedule. Okay, tip number 2. This is one I've never heard anyone say before. It's just something that I kind of figured out on my own, and I would say to avoid laying on your back, like going to sleep on your back or laying on your back for a long period of time, especially if you already do have a clogged milk duct. Like, don't do it, sis. But in general, you kind of just want to form the habit, if you're breastfeeding, to not go to sleep laying on your back. Because what happens is, because it's a buildup already, it's going against gravity. Let me just show y'all. So when you're laying down, right? This looks so weird. When you're laying down, like your boob is like sitting on top of your chest, basically. And when the milk is flowing in when you're sleeping, everything, because you know it's still flowing in when you're asleep. That's why you wake up like engorged and everything. When you're up like this, it's defying gravity for the milk to go up to where it goes. So it's not a... It makes sense if the milk clumps up in areas like in your breast, because that's what I found was like whenever I would start to feel like clumpy milk clumps in my breast. I also noticed that it was because when I woke up, I was in the position where I was laying on my back. However, I usually sleep on my side, and usually the flow of milk that comes in, like, yes, they're still very full when I wake up, but they're not like clumps of milk places. So that's just something that I noticed, and I feel like if you already have a clogged milk duct or you feel like it's coming on, definitely don't lay on your back. Like, it hurts. It really, really hurts for it to just be sitting there. And then the bigger it gets, the more painful it is, and it's more difficult to even like lift your arm up. So no, especially when you're carrying a baby, like, no. Okay, and then tip number 3, this pretty much goes hand in hand with tip number 1, which is basically to pump and to release that milk that's built up. Like I said, if you already have a clogged milk duct, then you want to do this multiple times throughout the day until it kind of goes away. But if not, then implementing it just in your regular schedule, this will also be that. So get to the tip. And so that third tip would be to, in the shower or just with a warm, hot washcloth, you want to massage your breast. And this is the thing that people forget when they say this. You want to start like all the way back from where your armpit is. Like, I know this is the breast, but you don't want to just rely on the breast. Start from the back, start from the chest, and work your way in like your hand expressing. And that's another thing that you can do. Instead of pumping, you can hand express also. If you're in pain because you have the clogged milk duct, then that's why it's probably a good idea to do this in the shower, because the shower is really going to relieve some of that pain. It's like getting a massage. Like, you know, when your body's aching, it's like once you get under the water, it just doesn't feel as bad. So I would suggest to get in the shower and do this. If not, just take a hot washcloth a few times throughout the day, if you do have one, and just kind of massage it. Like, let it sit on you and massage downwards like this, and all the way around. And like I said, you definitely want to start from your underarms, because personally, when I've had clogged milk duct before and when I felt it coming on recently, it's never like in my breast. It's always underneath my armpit, like all the way up here, because I'll insert a picture here somewhere. Basically, the anatomy of our breast, like where the milk is actually coming from, the duct that it starts from, it's not just in our breast. It starts all the way back here. So likely if you have a clogged milk duct, it's probably not in here somewhere. It could be, but it's probably starting from the back. So if you want to massage, start from the back and relieve it that way. And in the shower, you can release some milk too if you still feel engorged or whatever. But these are tips to keep in mind for all the time if you're a breastfed mom. I know there are like challenges that come along with breastfeeding, but I'm such a big advocate of breastfeeding, and it's such an amazing thing. There's just some things like clogged milk ducts, the hump of, you know, getting over the beginning of it and how it may hurt, or what, you know, whatever it is. There are things that can deter you from continuing with your breastfeeding journey or starting it altogether if you just don't know that much about it, or just myths and stuff like that. Oh, and I almost forgot, I have a bonus tip for y'all. Pro tip, just because I like y'all like that. But basically, if you're also having like a certain area in your breast where you do feel like a milk clog like in your breast, you can also change the position that you're feeding your baby. So I know personally I always do like the cradle position. I'm always holding my baby like this, and her body like goes across my body like this. If you turn the baby and do the football hold, so have their head right here and body right here, it will change also. Like, they have a really strong suckle, and that strong suckle can help get a clogged milk duct like back flowing. So if they're always in one position, you're probably going to notice you never ever have a clogged milk duct like right here, wherever they're pulling from. But if you switch their position, they can start pulling from wherever else it's clogged. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Switch positions up. Just try different things and see what works for you. Like, you'll never know what's for you until you just try. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Switching the position of baby, because baby will pump it on out of you, okay? Just be consistent and you got this, mama. So I hope this is helpful for you to keep these things in mind, because breastfeeding does not have to be as painful as it sounds or as it's said to be, as long as we educate ourselves and kind of like learn these things and how it could be easier, and how we can make it easier on ourselves. So if you learned something new in this video, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're not already part of my mama tribe, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Yes, hair come through here. Okay, volume. Okay, volume.